Welcome back to Unknown Facts. Imagine this, you're just chewing gum or feeding pigeons. Totally normal, right? But in some places, those everyday habits could get you fined or even arrested. Today, we're diving into the world's most bizarre laws, things you do without thinking that could land you in hot water abroad. We'll uncover why these rules exist and the wild stories behind them. So grab a legal snack, hit subscribe, and let's get started. You won't believe what's actually illegal around the globe. Let's jump in. First up, a seemingly trivial item, something many of us take for granted, chewing gum in Singapore. A simple pleasure, right? Sounds harmless, a ubiquitous habit enjoyed worldwide. But since 1992, things have been different. It's mostly illegal, a rather unusual restriction, wouldn't you say? To import or sell gum there is against the law. A complete ban on this everyday item. Why? What could possibly be the reason? Singapore's obsession with cleanliness. A national priority, a cultural cornerstone, gum was everywhere, a sticky nuisance. On sidewalks, a constant eyesore, mailboxes, defaced and unsightly, even jamming subway doors, causing real disruptions. The final straw, a critical incident, vandals stuck gum, a deliberate act of sabotage. On train sensors, vital for smooth operation, causing costly delays and widespread inconvenience. The government responded swiftly and decisively. With a total ban, a zero-tolerance policy. Sell gum? Think again. Face huge fines, a hefty price to pay, or jail. A serious consequence for a seemingly minor offense. For years, the ban remained absolute. There were zero exceptions, no room for leniency. Singapore wanted to stay spotless, a gleaming example of urban hygiene. No matter what, cleanliness was paramount. In 2004, after years of the ban, they relaxed the law, a slight shift in policy. A bit. A carefully considered adjustment. Now you can get certain types of gum. Dental or nicotine gum, for specific health reasons. But only from a doctor with a legitimate need. Or pharmacist, a qualified professional. And you have to show ID proving your identity. No casual gum chewing here. This isn't about recreation. It's a medical transaction, strictly regulated. The message is clear. Singapore takes cleanliness seriously. In Singapore, order and cleanliness reign supreme. Even tiny annoyances, things that might seem insignificant elsewhere, can spark major laws, shaping the nation's policies. So if you're visiting this remarkable city-state, stick to mints, a safer and more acceptable choice. And keep the city clean, it's everyone's responsibility. It's a small sacrifice, a minor adjustment to your habits. For a spotless city, a truly beautiful place to visit, the gum ban is legendary. A story often told. A symbol of Singapore's commitment to order and progress. Strict, unique approach, a testament to their values. To order, a society that values rules and regulations. It's a reminder, a lesson for all travelers. What's normal at home, what you consider everyday behavior, could be a crime abroad, a serious legal issue. So when in Singapore, be mindful of the local laws. Leave the gum at home, it's simply not worth the risk. The city's pristine streets, a testament to their dedication, will thank you, and so will the local authorities. And you'll avoid any potential legal trouble. A sticky situation, a pun intended, of course. Literally, a mess you don't want to be in. It's one of the world's most talked about laws, most famous, weird laws, a quirky fact, for a reason, a logical explanation behind it all. Who knew gum, this seemingly harmless substance, could cause so much trouble? A surprising turn of events. Next time you travel, take a moment to prepare. Check the rules. It's always a good idea to be informed. You never know what oddities you might encounter. What's banned? You might be surprised by the restrictions. On to the next law. Let's see what other surprises await. Now let's head to Greece. Planning to visit the Acropolis in style? Leave the high heels at home. It's illegal to wear them at many ancient sites, not for fashion, but for preservation. Stilettos act like tiny chisels, damaging marble that survived thousands of years. Multiply that by thousands of tourists and you get real harm to priceless history. Greek authorities banned high heels to protect these treasures for future generations. Signs at entrances ask for soft-soled shoes, simple but crucial. It's not about style, it's about saving history. So pack comfy shoes and help preserve the past. You'll be a tourist and a preservationist at the same time. Ancient Greece will thank you. Sometimes the right shoes really do make all the difference. Onward to our next strange law. Venice, Italy, famous the world over for its unique charm and beauty. Its intricate network of canals, the iconic gondolas gliding through the waterways, and pigeons. Lots and lots of pigeons. Feeding pigeons in St. Mark's Square surrounded by these feathered friends was once a classic, almost mandatory tourist photo op. A quintessential Venetian experience, but in 2008, things changed. Venice banned feeding them, enacting a somewhat controversial law. Why? What prompted this avian aversion? The pigeon population exploded, growing to unsustainable numbers, and so did the mess. A never-ending battle against bird droppings. Pigeon droppings are acidic, a corrosive substance, damaging ancient statues, slowly but surely eroding history and buildings. The architectural gems of Venice were under attack. The city was spending, allocating significant funds, a fortune on cleaning, trying to keep up with the relentless mess and repairs. A costly and continuous undertaking. Plus, the birds became aggressive, emboldened by constant feeding and spread disease, posing a health hazard to residents and tourists alike. The solution? A multi-pronged approach to tackle the problem. Ban the sale of bird feed, cutting off a major source of sustenance, and fine anyone, with hefty penalties, caught feeding pigeons. A stern warning to would-be feeders, up to €700. A significant deterrent indeed. It was controversial, sparking debate and protests, but Venice prioritized, placing importance on preserving its heritage, protecting its historical treasures for future generations. The goal, a long-term vision for the city, cut off the food supply, reducing the artificial abundance, and reduce the pigeon problem, bringing the population down to a manageable level, naturally, allowing the ecosystem to find its own balance. So, admire the birds from afar, appreciate their presence from a distance, but don't feed them. Resist the urge to offer them food. Sometimes a kind gesture, an act of generosity, can have big consequences, unintended and detrimental results. Venice's beauty depends on it. The preservation of its architectural wonders is at stake. Respect the rules, adhere to the regulations, and you'll help contribute to maintaining the city's history intact, ensuring its legacy endures. Next time you visit, when you find yourself in this magical city, save your bread for yourself. Enjoy a delicious meal instead of feeding the pigeons. Let's see what other surprising things are considered illegal around the world next. Germany's Autobahn, a marvel of engineering and a symbol of freedom on the road. Famous for sections with no speed limits, a true haven for those who love to drive fast. It's a place where you can really test the limits of your car and your nerves. But don't be fooled, there are still strict rules in place to ensure everyone's safety. One surprise for many drivers. It's illegal to run out of gas on the Autobahn. Yes, you read that right. On the Autobahn of all places. Why is this the case? A stopped car, especially on a high-speed road, is a huge hazard to other drivers and can create a very dangerous situation very quickly, when others are flying by at breakneck speeds. At 200 kilometers per hour or even faster, only real emergencies justify stopping on the shoulder of the Autobahn. And running out of fuel, well, isn't considered one of them. Drivers are expected to be responsible, to plan their route ahead of time, knowing where the fuel stations are, and to keep their tanks sufficiently full to reach their destination. If you do happen to run out of gas, expect a hefty fine from the authorities, and if your empty tank causes an accident, the penalties can be quite severe, potentially leading to serious legal trouble. Even walking on the Autobahn to get gas is against the rules. It's both illegal and incredibly dangerous. The Autobahn system is a finely tuned and highly efficient system that relies on everyone doing their part. And every driver on the road must do their part to keep it running smoothly and safely. So if you're lucky enough to drive on the German Autobahn, enjoy the incredible speed and freedom, but always keep a close watch on your fuel gauge, because it's all about responsibility behind the wheel and the safety of everyone on the road. Don't let a simple mistake like forgetting to fill up turn into a serious crime with legal consequences. In Germany, even running out of gas on the Autobahn is considered a serious business and a breach of responsibility. Next stop, baby names. In Denmark, naming your baby isn't just a family decision, it's government business. There's a list of about 7,000 approved names. Want something unique? You need official permission. The goal: protect kids from names that could cause embarrassment or ridicule. Parents can pick from the list or submit a new name for review. The government checks for proper spelling, grammar, and whether the name could disadvantage the child. Names like anus and monkey have been rejected. Boys' and girls' names must be distinct, and surnames can't be first names. It's strict, but many Danes see it as sensible. In Denmark, creativity meets bureaucracy, sometimes for the child's own good. So if you want to name your kid Awesome, be ready for paperwork. Let's dance over to Japan. Japan's nightlife is legendary, but for decades, dancing after midnight was technically illegal. The Fueho Law from 1948 required clubs to have a hard-to-get dancing license. Originally, it was about cracking down on post-war crime, not fun. For years, the law was ignored, until a police crackdown in the 2010 S-clubs were raided, no dancing signs went up, and the party stopped at midnight. The backlash was huge. DJs, club owners, and fans protested, demanding change. The Let's Dance movement gathered over 150,000 signatures. In 2015, the law was finally relaxed. Dancing after midnight is legal again, with some lighting rules. It's a win for nightlife and a lesson in challenging outdated laws. In Japan, even dancing can be a political act. Sometimes, you really do have to fight for your right to party. Next, a law that's truly out of this world. In Tibet, China, Buddhist monks can't reincarnate without government permission. Yes, you heard that right. There's an official process for spiritual rebirth. The law, passed in 2007, gives the Chinese government control over the selection of reincarnated lamas, especially the next Dalai Lama. It's about political power, not religion. The Dalai Lama has mocked the law, suggesting he might reincarnate outside China just to defy it. This law turns a sacred tradition into government paperwork. It's a striking example of state control over faith. In China, even the afterlife is regulated. Sometimes the strangest laws are about more than meets the eye. Let's head somewhere warmer. Heading to the Caribbean? Leave your camo at home. In countries like Barbados and Jamaica, it's illegal for civilians to wear camouflage. The reason camo is reserved for the military to prevent impersonation and confusion. Tourists aren't exempt. Customs officers will confiscate camo clothes at the airport. It's about national security, not fashion. Even pink or blue camo is banned. So, pack tropical prints instead and avoid trouble. Respect the rules, and your vacation will go smoothly. Sometimes what you wear really matters. Next, a law about public affection. In the UAE, public displays of affection can get you in serious trouble. Kissing, hugging, or even holding hands in public can lead to fines, arrest, or jail, regardless of your nationality. The laws are rooted in Islamic tradition and public decency. Even in tourist hotspots like Dubai, the rules apply everywhere. Beaches, malls, taxis. For unmarried couples, the consequences are even more severe. The message: keep affection private and respect local customs. Enjoy the sights, but save the hugs and kisses for your hotel room. It's about respecting tradition and avoiding legal trouble. When in the UAE, modesty is key. Next, a law that's all about peace and quiet. In Switzerland, flushing your toilet after 10 p.m. in many apartments is against the rules. It's all about noise. Swiss culture values peace and quiet, especially at night. Loud plumbing in old buildings can disturb neighbors, so late-night flushing is banned. The rule is part of rental agreements and can be enforced by landlords. The expectation, if it's just number one, wait until morning. For emergencies, there's some flexibility. It's a social contract. Your convenience ends where your neighbor's peace begins. So if you're staying in Switzerland, remember after 10 p.m., think before you flush. Sometimes the quietest laws are the most surprising. Let's wrap up. And there you have it. Everyday actions that could land you in trouble abroad. These laws show just how different cultures tackle issues like cleanliness, safety, and respect. What's normal at home might be a crime somewhere else. Which law surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us on Unknown Facts. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more wild stories. The world is full of surprises, and we'll be back with more soon. See you next time.